All right, welcome everybody. So Derek's had some technical difficulties. He's kind of on the fly right now, trying to get everything straightened out. So we'll be patient with him and let him try to get a good connection. He's having to walk around the yard. It looks like it's fun signal.
Yeah, I'm outside right now.
All righty. Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for stopping by. If you guys don't know Derek already with the Ohio Catfish Chasers, you need to. Derek's been actually been doing videos longer than I thought. You just kind of showed up on the scene here on us and going back and checking out all your stuff. You've been doing a little bit longer than I thought you was.
I started 4 years ago, but it didn't last long, and there wasn't a whole lot really going on with it. It was more just a GoPro sitting on the ground there for a couple of videos. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I had some camera trouble, then some boat trouble, and here I think it was April. I kind of hit it, pretty hard, and been going strong ever since. But it's only been 4 months or so.
Right. Yeah, that's what I saw too when I went back and saw some of the older videos. Hey Zach, thanks for stopping in, buddy. Saw some of the older videos. I realized you've been doing it longer than I thought.
Yeah,
Guys, before I take off here, real quick, a couple things. Um, if you guys could keep, I got two friends right now in the hospital that are doing pretty bad, and the one of them is a real good fishing buddy of mine. He's in a lot of my fishing videos. I think his best video yet is that PB times three. He's a fellow that put 340 pounders in the boat at the same time. But my buddy Herb Everhart was in a real bad car wreck on Friday evening with his wife, and she suffered a broken arm and broken wrist, compound fractures and bones popping out and all that. They was able to get her patched up and sent home. Herb's had a pretty rough go. He's got bones popped out his arms, his legs, his feet, and they're kind of putting him back together like Humpty Dumpty. And he's hanging on. He's trying to hang on to make sure he doesn't lose his foot. And I know that sounds crazy, but the way the doctors are explaining it to him, he's one infection away from losing his whole foot. So we're praying that he's able to keep it and heal back up and get going again. And then those of you that know who Paul Bird is, or J.R. Bird, or PB and J, depends on where you're from and how you know him, what he sounds like to you. But that poor fellow went in last Wednesday for a rotator cuff surgery, and he's been on life support and oxygen, machines breathing for him and everything since then. Just ran into complications, and as of right now, they're talking about starting to wean him off of because they've had him sedated pretty heavily since then, but they're going to try to start weaning him off tomorrow. And so if you guys could just kind of keep them two folks in your thoughts and prayers, and I'd appreciate it a whole lot. So, but so Derek, you got fired up into YouTube, kind of backed off the pedal for a little bit, and now you're back in at full throttle. So what changed for you, said April, to get you going again?
I would say probably the one that did it. I hope you guys can hear me okay.
We can hear you.
I would say the trip that probably did it is me and one of my buddies went out fishing, and I literally told him the last thing I said before I walked out the door. I had like 3 GoPros sitting on the table, and I said, "Man, I'm gonna leave these here. That way we have a good trip." You know what I mean? Just said it. And we headed out to the lake, and actually we got probably 3/4 of the way there, and I said, "Man, I forgot my whole tackle box." So the way I fish, pretty much everything I need is on my rods already. But I was like, if we break off, we're a rod down. So I said, "You want to go back and get it or what?" Because I think it was a Sunday night. It was already like 4 o'clock, limited time. So he's like, "No, let's just go fish." All right, whatever. So we get down there, and we had probably one of the best nights I've had all year, which I know I said that probably 2 or 3 times. But I think we caught 12 fish. I hate to lie to you guys. I want to say like 8 of them were over 9 or 10 pounds, but I could be wrong on that part. But it was the best trip I had probably all year, honestly. That's where I caught that one that I'm guessing had to have been 20 pounds, right around that number. But like I said, my scale was at the house. And after that, I said, you know what? Never leaving the cameras at home again. So that's kind of how that happened. That's what kind of fired me up to reboot, I guess you could say.
There you go. That's a good reason. When you have a stellar night and you're already kind of into YouTube and you don't get any of it on film, it'll set you back. So
yeah,
from what I see, you fish a lot of waters around here where I live. What waters are you most commonly on and fishing, and what for?
Say that again. You were breaking up pretty bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. What waters are you typically fishing?
I don't know, man. I hit them all kind of even. Cowan a good little bit. Cedar Creek a lot more here lately. But really back until probably 2 years ago, I only fished Rocky Fork. If I was catfishing, that's where I was at every time.
That's where I'm going in the morning.
What is it?
I think I'm heading there in the morning.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is the boat fixed, or we roll on kicker motor?
No, my buddy invited me out. I think we're going to Rocky Fork. We might be going Paint Creek. He wants to do a little crappie fishing. He's been hammering some big ones, so I'm all in.
Right? Yeah. Anytime in the water is a good time.
Crappie.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I would say that crappie is probably my secondary species as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to get back to Rocky Fork here soon. I think I fished it twice this year. Once was back in like March. It was like 35, 40 degrees outside, and I didn't catch anything. And I went back and sometime in April and caught one. So now that it's warmed up a little bit, I want to go back out there again and see if my luck's changed.
Gotcha. So what style of, I mean, I know from watching your videos, but some folks in here might not be familiar with you, but you kind of explain folks what your normal day of catching catfish looks like, from your rigs to your speeds to your technique.
Well, my plan was, I had a feeling this question was coming, and I got my poles sitting behind me where I planned on going live from, and I was going to show you guys. So what I'll probably do here in a minute is I'll run in there and get them and show you guys anyway. But basically, I've got a rod rack on the back that holds 4 rods. Anything more than that, you're kind of asking, to get tangled. I know I've seen a lot of people do with more, but I don't know. The way my boat's set up, I feel like anything more than 4, I'm asking for trouble. So it's got four rod holders on the back. And I'll talk more about my rigs when I go get a rod. But basically, I'm dragging a Santee rig on the bottom. Speed is going to depend on the time of year. In the spring, early spring, cold water. Late fall, again, cold water. Probably 0.3, 0.4. Summertime, I go up, I usually stay around 0.6 or 0.7, but I know a lot of people go higher than that. So I guess personal preference.
Can you see chat? Are you able to see chat?
Well, I can, but I have to keep clicking on and off. That's
fine. Because Chad's down there just giving you hell.
Is that right?
He said your technique was driving the boat and letting your mom and Shelby catch the fish.
I mean, I know he's trying to make fun of me, but honestly, man,
see what Jim said?
I have just as much fun watching other people catch big fish as I like catching myself.
Put me on live stream one night when I was sleeping.
No, I didn't. Who said that? Who said that? Somebody's trying to get me in trouble. I'll find out who it is. Hey, Elstan, welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining.
What's going on, Chunky?
Hey, also, Jim Catman Clark, I like that idea. He just told Janice to buy me a new Suzuki 200 4-stroke. If I had the money, if I had the money to buy whatever I wanted, that'd be it right there.
Right. Yeah.
I like
should probably look into repowering, but I should look into repowering mine probably, but right now I'm looking on the other end. I'm looking at a new trolling motor right now.
I got lucky there. I wanted a brand new trolling motor. It's the cat's ass. It's pretty good. I really like it. It's unfortunately my trolling motor now is worth more than my main outboard.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'd say there's a good chance mine might be once I get it. It's I'm not 100% set in stone. I'm pretty close, but I think what I'm gonna go with is the 70-pound thrust power drive with iPilot on it.
Yeah, that anything with the iPilot or anything that you can spot lock with is going to be put you a leg up. Mine's got the link. I got the iPilot link and the Humminbird and all that. I ain't figured it out. Of course, I ain't had the boat out since April,
Right.
so I haven't had the opportunity to really play with it. On top of that, I got a brand new Garmin 93 SV. And I'm kind of used to those a little bit. I fish a lot with Skip Stewart, and Skip has a Garmin 93 SV on his boat, and so we kind of learned it together as he was new to it as well. And so I got a lot of learning to do once I get my boat.
Right. So
Michael
you have a
Murray says,
Piroba
is
then?
it too early to turn state's evidence on James Dockery? Uh-oh. It's hitting the fan now.
I'm trying to read through some comments now. Betty's over here dissing on my boat, it looks like.
Well, nobody would probably know it's a bass boat if you didn't say it was a bass boat. It's got the pretty far down. It's got a pretty deep center in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're super stable as far as side to side goes. You know what I mean? You could throw a party on that thing and it wouldn't go anywhere. Right.
Well, no, that low profile also helps on windy days when you're trying to drift and drag baits. My boat sets so high up out of the water that it's kind of like a pontoon at times. It catches a lot of wind.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what sucks about mine is, like you said, it's so low profile that I'm assuming what it is the outboard catches a lot of it. So
right.
I'm gonna do a bad visual here, but when I'm going across the water like this, my lines are coming out the back, and it wants to turn me this way and tangle my lines up. So I can straighten it back up, but on really windy days, I always end up going a direction I don't want to be going. You know what I mean? I can't. It's hard to hold a.
Do you pull a drift sock with when you're doing that?
Not usually. I do from time to time, but I've got a little homemade drift sock that me and Shelby's dad made, and I mean it works, but probably not as good as a big 60-incher or whatever you'd buy from Bass Pro. But usually what I do when it's really windy is I just get around to drive into the wind and instead of going crosswind. You know what I mean? Right.
Zach Murray says catfish slime's hard to get out of a bass boat.
No, it's not. Why do you figure that?
I don't know, because it got carpet. Most of these catfish boats are either all aluminum or vinyl flooring.
Right. Well, here's a benefit to me not being in the house. We'll look at my boat here real quick.
Hey, while you're doing that, I would say hey to Doc Lang. Doc Lang just stopped in. Thank you for being here. Kevin from Palmetto Cats. Betty Cross. Kevin from K&B Anglers in the house. Chunky Cat. My special friend Rick Wilson. That's who I'm going fishing with in the morning. Just joined the chat. So thank you, Rick, for stopping in. And we got a slew full of people so far watching. So thank you guys all for taking the time out to join us tonight. Did you make it?
Yeah.
Hey, we can even see your face now.
What is it? I'm sorry.
So we can even see you now.
Right. I know it was real dark over there. Well, maybe I'll go back over there. I'm sure that's probably going to lose some viewers.
Yeah, that's all right. We watch your videos. At least most of us do.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. Bass boats aren't made for real fish.
Paula Smith just joined us. If you haven't, I haven't got the thumbnail put together yet, but Paula Smith will be on the show next week with us on Tuesday night. So be sure to stick around for that next Tuesday, and I'll be happy to have Paula Smith on here. We'll talk a little bit about that as we go on. Go ahead and show us what you got there, bud.
All right. So as far as the carpet goes, I have no idea what this is. It's kind of like a painted on, a little bit of a grippy surface. When I bought it, that's what the guy had on there. He ran trout lines down in Louisiana, I believe. So
I got you.
That's got a few spots where it's chipping up, but I think I've had this boat for 4 years, and for the most part, it's holding up pretty good. So I don't really have any complaints on it. But yeah, carpet, there's no way it would last. I know when I see people that fish out of bass boats, on Facebook, on a catfish page, what carpet should I use? Where should I get it done? All this, that, and the other. I always tell them don't. I've never had carpet in my boat, but I can only imagine.
Zach beat me to the punch. We're looking to head down to Wilson and Wheeler Lake here in October, and so I'm going to tug on Doc Lang's ear a little bit and see if he can't help us point us in the right direction, or if he'd like to join us fishing for a day. That'd be fantastic. Plan on hoping to see him anyway when I come down. Did you get to your rigs, or are they back at the house?
They're in the house. So I can go grab them real quick whenever you want to take over for a minute.
Sure. I'll try to keep up with I'll go through some comments here and chat. My wife's sitting next to me. She's not saying a word, so she's not helpful at all. She just caught up in the chat. She forgot all about filling me in. If you want to go ahead and grab those rigs, that's fine, buddy.
All right, that works. I'll grab back.
All right, guys. If you guys got any questions here real quick while Derek runs in the house. He tried going live from inside the house. It just wasn't happening for him, so he had to step outside to get enough signal. But that's okay. We still got some daylight left. Yeah, pressure washer to get the slime out. I've done that, but by the time you pressure wash it good enough, you've tore up half your carpet. What's the matter? Are you going to help me at all here? Zach Murray says, Roger and I will be down there October 10th through the 14th. Love to hook up with you. Zach, does that mean you're going? Where can we order them cool hats? The catfish and crappie hats, Rick, is that what you're talking about? That's my buddy Mark in here with catfish and crappie. He saw this hat today. We was up visiting our friend in the hospital, and he was liking the hat. So I think Mark's working on getting them available to sell. So we'll have to stay tuned, and I'll let you know when I know. Roger is going to get it because she found out that he filmed her sleeping. What do you mean I'm going to get it?
You filmed me sleeping?
I don't know what he's talking about.
They said when you were on live stream, you showed them me sleeping.
Oh, see. Chad's asking, would you like to join us at the bait shop one night with Cindy Stokes? That's Lyle Stokes' wife. Those hats are unorderable. I don't know what he'd sell them for. I say you can get a pretty penny out of them because they seem to be the hottest hat in the YouTube market. As soon as we no, he doesn't. But he says the shipments get here tomorrow. Looks like. Yeah, Paula. Doc is. I mean, I've said this on many occasions, but I feel that Doc can forget more by the time he lays down tonight than I'll ever know in my lifetime of fishing. He's a fantastic source of knowledge. Set one aside. All right, welcome back, buddy. What you got for us?
All right. Well, I'll just going through some comments real quick. Betty, I'm pretty clumsy, but I didn't fall over. All right, so I don't know how I'm gonna set this thing up here. I'll try to do it one-handed. See how that works. Actually, hang on a second.
A bucket hat coming in 2021. I don't know if I can handle a bucket hat, Mr. Murillo.
All right, I hate this camera being backwards, but I'm gonna do the best I can. So,
Kevin, Mama didn't raise no fool.
Basically, what I've got, I hope you guys, hang on a second. I brought my stand out finally to use it. Let me get it down to the right height. That way I can use it for this real quick.
Rick, I'll help get you set up with that, buddy. They're saying you need to buy a tripod.
Yeah, didn't have it set up yet. So, all right. My main line comes down and ties on a snap swivel.
Right.
I hope you guys can see that all right. And then the snap swivel goes through this weight right here.
Okay.
And then on the bottom of that swivel, I've got my leader line going down. I just took myself in the pants. And going down from that leader line, I run a chain swivel. And what that does is lets everything below the weight, below the chain, spin. Because when you're going through the water, 9 times out of 10, your bait's kind of, a chunk, and it'll just sit there and kind of torpedo. So You're going to reel it in, and it's going to be a big, big bird's nest. So you got to have something in there that lets that line swivel. I used to use a snap ring like on a bass lure down by the hook, but that just got too hard to mess with on the boat. So I found these. They're rated for 100 pounds, and I just tie them on real quick. And then from there, you want to go down to some kind of a float. Now this one, rattles and flashes, kind of the same thing Chunky has going on for all you guys that watch him. But just a normal peg float works as well. I've had a bunch of people ask me if the rattle actually makes a difference, and I can't really answer that. I know Dieter did a video on it there one time a year or two ago, and ended up kind of even. Every time I pay attention, it ends up kind of even. But it does seem like a lot of times the bigger fish are on the rattles, and also if it's like a 1 or 2 fish day, it seems like they're on the rattles. So I would say it helps. Is it a deal breaker? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? And then I just go down and tie my circle hook on, and that's it.
So the other aspect for me, and this is just my opinion, with the demon dragons or demon dragon type rattles and lures, is that it also provides a visual. So in you guys' latest video, you guys were bass fishing in a creek, and you caught a flathead.
Right.
And that bait didn't have any scent to it. It didn't have a rattle to it. It just looked like something he could eat. And I'm sure it went right by his face, and he snatched it up. And, for me, sometimes that rattle and that flash of whether, I like the shad style demon dragons and some other colors. Pink is my favorite. But I feel that there's a little bit to be said about the fact that they also create a profile of which, they're naturally hunting.
Right. And like you said, with the shad, I'm a big fan of the shad colored because, that's what I use for bait. So to me, it kind of has that visual of a shad with the scent of a shad. And then, how many times do you see one shad by itself? You know what I mean?
Right.
So just kind of add that realism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In my
pink,
opinion.
It doesn't even make sense to me why they like pink so much. But I've had a lot of success with the pink. I know some other folks have. As a matter of fact, I think Doc at one point said that the pink was outperforming some of his other colors, and nothing in the water is really pink that I know of. Naturally,
it's funny you bring that up because the guy caught that flathead. We were fishing. I think it was that day, or maybe last Saturday because we went out again this past Saturday.
Right.
I saw
And
like a little tiny piece of you. Let's like flipped it over real fast. You guys got me in trouble.
you'll have that.
Yeah.
I'm a bad influence, but no. He gave his son a pink jig or grub, whatever, and his son was using it and just out fishing him like no other. And what he thinks that, I mean, I don't know if you guys ever seen the video. Back when I first got into crappie fishing, there's a video out on YouTube, and this guy drops dark color jigs and light color jigs, bright color jigs, and different, stains of water, and kind of show you what it looks like underwater. So I don't even think it shows up pink underwater. It's just something that is a color they like or they're familiar with.
Mark just said that under 5 feet of water, pink turns gray.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He thought it was gray.
Right. So that would explain some things there as well.
Right. But yeah, I mean, in my opinion, the biggest thing is being in the right place at the right time. I don't care what you're using, how you're using it. If you're not on the water, you're not going to catch them. And if you're there when they're hungry, you're going to catch them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of my input on it.
Time on the water, man. If you put enough time on the water, you've got more opportunity, obviously, to catch the fish that you're after. But
right.
Betty just can't stand when I don't know where he went. Betty can't stand whenever we call them flatheads, and I've been raised in Ohio. I've called them shovelhead and flathead my whole life. It's always gone back and forth. I've never really had one way to say it versus the other. So we'll give Derek a minute, see if he can't get back in here. He's, like I said, he's been struggling with service, so we'll let him get back to his hole. So how about you guys? Does anybody use either floats of a color that seem to outperform one? Demon Dragon's a certain color that you prefer, or you feel that more confidence with, that had better luck than others, or do you feel that it doesn't really matter? You see, but looks like we got him back. Welcome back, buddy.
I fat fingered it. I tried to click on chat. I could read some comments. I left.
Lyle says they are flatheads. Look it up. I say flathead more than shovelhead. I've said shovelhead on and off, just around here. A lot of people call them shovelhead, but so neon yellow slip floats seem to work well. Red outperformed green just last night. Was that a foam float there, Mark, or were you using some type of rattle? Wilson, they like white. That's good to know. We're coming down there. I'll be picking your brain more as time goes on here, Doc, just to see make sure we're prepared.
That's Yellow Cats, Wilson or Wheeler.
Wheeler, and we just got an opportunity to go for it, and going to try and make it happen. Get down there and see if I can't beat my PB.
What is your PB, since we're talking about it?
My PB for blue is 43 pounds. Shovelhead, just because Betty just popped up and said shovelhead. Shovelhead is 55.03, and my biggest channel is 13 pounds out of Rocky Fork.
Hey, I finally beat you on one.
There you go. Yeah, you had like a 20-pound channel cap not too long ago, didn't you?
So the one that I forgot the cameras. What is it?
Go ahead.
Oh, the one I forgot the camera for and the scale and everything. It was 36 inches, if I remember right. I have no idea what it weighed, but let's see. That was on the 4th. So 3 days later on my birthday, I had my scale and I caught an 18 and a half, and that 20 was a lot bigger. A lot bigger. So I've been calling 20. I don't know if it was 19 and 3/4, 21, 22, but
right.
It was definitely the biggest I've caught by a long shot. So my confirmed best channel is 18.5.
That's a heck of a channel cat, especially for around here.
Right. Well, I think the big thing that
Hang on a
helps
second.
channel cat
TV just kicked on for some reason.
I think the big thing that helps channel cat around here is the fact that we don't really have a whole lot of blues or flatheads, you know.
Right, yeah. They're able to get to big numbers and big size because now Rocky Fork has some big flathead in there.
Right.
Justin's fishing fetish. He showed me pictures and verified that there was a 70-pound flathead, 70-something pound flathead to come out of Rocky Fork down by the campgrounds. So
That's a good
there's
one.
some big ones in there.
Yeah, I think every
Doc
lake
got
around
the
here has
upper
some
man.
big. What is it?
Yeah, there he is. I was going to say Doc has some big ones out there too. He says he's got a 22-pounder, is 39 inches long out of Rocky Fork. Doc used to fish Rocky Fork a lot as well.
Oh, really? Let's see if I can get some light back on my screen here. Turn around or something.
Oh, it looks like we're going to Paint Creek in the morning, says Rick. I'm okay with that. Rick's pretty good at the crappie, man. He does catfishing as well, but I think he crappie fishes more than catfish, and he catches a lot. He catches a lot of them down there, Paint Creek and Rocky Fork. He lives right on Rocky Fork, so he's got a good excuse for being good. But he usually finds them when most people can't.
I'd be in trouble if I lived on Rocky Fork. I'd be there all the time.
You know? Have you
I know
talked to him?
Betty doesn't like it for some reason.
What is that? I'm sorry.
Oh, I said if I lived on Rocky Fork, I'd be in trouble. I'd be there all the time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we talked
reason,
about that too. Get down by the river and see all those houses and like, man, I'd love to live right here. I'd be divorced in like 3 weeks. Now,
right?
you ain't cut the grass. You ain't done nothing around the house. All you want to do is fish.
Yeah.
Zach, I'm ready. Yeah, go ahead.
No, okay.
I was seeing Zach on there. He said Banksburg. I said, I'm ready when you are, pal. You tell me when and where. But
I was just going to say, at least you'd have an excuse. I'm like that already. Grass gets 2 foot tall before I cut
it. Well, it looks like you've been fishing a good bit yourself here lately.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably the most I've fished up to this point in time in the year in my life, really.
Right. Yeah, that's easy to do once you get into it, and especially when things start working for you and going together for you.
Right. And, yeah, I had a really good spring, but it seems like, I don't know. In my opinion, around here, the shad spawned late. I don't know anybody else's opinion on that, but it seems like.
Yeah. Well, we have more than one, but you're right.
Okay.
I believe shad spawn twice a year. Maybe more.
They might. I don't know. I don't pay that much attention.
I know
really.
Rocky Fork is completely covered right now in 1.5 inch shad. I mean, giant clouds of shad.
Yep. Yep.
Up in the marinas and stuff.
Everywhere I've fished has been like that. But I went to Cedar Creek last Thursday, and I fished it at night for the first time. And I was cutting up, shad like I always do. And I was getting a couple bites here and there. And I caught one little baby shad. I don't know where they were at. I don't know if they went down deep and my net was closing too fast or what. But for some reason, I couldn't catch, a bunch of them like I have been everywhere else. And I put that one on there, and I mean, within 3 minutes, that rod doubled over, and he didn't get hooked up somehow. But they're definitely eating those baby shad right now. They're gorging.
So, who got you started into fishing? Where'd your story start?
Well, give me a second. I might be in trouble here. Shelby just walked out.
Oh boy.
Just talking. What are you doing? Just come and make fun of me. What'd you ask again?
You gotta be careful. She'll end up on the show.
I know, right? Hood of my truck.
Even if you're sleeping.
What'd you ask again? I got sidetracked.
Who got you started into fishing? Was it something your family's done, or dad or grandpa or somebody got you into it, or?
Yeah, it was my dad. He got me into fishing. We had a pond at the house, and we were down there like every day. He was always a bass fisherman, but he
Right.
stopped, with bass, bluegill, channel cat out of a hatchery that's not too far from our house. And like I said, he got me started bass fishing, and for whatever reason, I found out there were catfish in there, caught a couple, and I mean they were small 5 pound catfish. They weren't nothing huge, and I was just hooked. Ever since I was probably, I'd say under 10. He had me fishing before I even knew what I was doing. I was picking
Right.
grass more than I was fishing. But
Right.
yeah.
Freezing up on
I
us a
just I
little bit
caught.
there, bud. Like you're having some connection issues there. You're still froze on the screen. I saw that coming. Shelby walked out there and says, "Tell us about all the fish you get and the ones you let him reel in." There you are. You're back, buddy.
Yeah, I think she's messing with the connection because I'm using her Wi-Fi. So
She's going to time you out if you keep talking about her.
I know, right? But either that or I saw Dockery's on there talking smack again. Maybe that's why my connection's going in and out.
That might be it. So there he goes again.
You're froze.
So
I'm
what?
assuming I am too.
You're good on my end. I'm still moving on my end. But of course, I'm not sure if that means moving on their end. But so what's your favorite bait? He froze. I'm not sure if I'm froze, but yeah, he's having some issues there. Well, is he back? I can see him. He gone. it's like half of my live stream so far. I've had so many technical difficulties. I tried going with the iPhone tonight because it does have a better picture than what this Samsung phone of mine does, but we'll just make it work. Are you back for good?
She's off the phone, so maybe.
Oh yeah, she gets on the phone and it kicks you off.
I think so. It was in and out there. It's been a little better since she hung up, but I don't know.
Hey, so before anything else happens, it looks like you got a new shirt on there. You want to give us a peek at that?
Yeah, see, again, my plan was I had the whole box of them sitting next to me in the house, and I had to come out here, so I'm gonna have to stand up. I'm sitting on my boat right now, so I'm gonna try not to fall off. But actually, here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There, it's kind of dark. Hold it up. Too tall.
How do you want it?
Oh, you got a camera woman now.
Yeah. So here's the front. I'm turning the wrong way. Just has a
That's
name.
all right.
And then on the back, if I can do it without falling, is the logo.
Oh, I like that. That looks good, man.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with how it turned out. It took me about 10 different designs before I ended up just getting one I liked, but I'm happy with how it ended up.
Did you end up printing that yourself, or did you find somebody? He gone. So that is a pretty cool looking shirt. Falling off the boat and on dry land made me famous, Terry. Yeah, there's a lot of falls that happen in and out of the boats. I try not to follow the boat. That's why I ended up with a big old deep V. I take a fall, I'm not coming back in probably. It looks like he's got it. I'm bringing him back in. There you are.
All right. I think I hit the leave button again. That wasn't a connection issue for once.
All right, we'll cover it up somehow.
But yeah, Kevin, I did the same thing, man. It was probably back in April. and I was working on the boat in the driveway, and I wanted to step off the back, and I thought I was on the ground, and I wasn't. So I went ahead and let my weight transfer from one foot to the one I thought was close to the ground. I was on the ground. I fell clean out the back of my boat. But luckily, Shelby pulled in like 30 seconds later, so she didn't get to see it.
Well, unfortunately, it probably been one of your top videos. It's the crazy ones that end up taking over.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It probably would have been a good one. But I was just working on it a little bit. Luckily, I was off the driveway in the grass, so it was kind of a little bit of cushion there. But I had another one. I was going fishing. It was actually Shelby's cousin was out with me, and we were setting the rods up in the rod rack, and I turn around and look, and all of a sudden I hear this loud noise. I turn around and look, and he's Supermaned out on the back deck. I was like, "What are you doing?" So the rod holders I use have like a little knob where you can tighten them and it adjusts the tilt of them. Apparently, It came loose, and when he set the rod in it, that rod nose dived for the water, and he dove for it. And I had the camera sitting up that would have caught it just perfect. And I looked at it, and it wasn't recording. And I was like, "Hey, man, you want to do that again?" And he's like, "Nope."
Well, it's quite possible I missed these questions in chat, but these are generally questions that pop up whenever we have guests on. So who are some of the YouTubers that you either look up to or you look forward to seeing videos coming out weekly?
Yes, to answer it short and sweet.
That puts you right on the spot, didn't it?
No, not really. It's just that I watch so many,
Yeah.
I don't even know who the first one I watched was. I would have to say probably Dieter, if I remember right. I was watching a lot of him and Chris Souders, Jeff Manning, a little bit of Steve Douglas here and there. And then, I kind of just went everywhere. I watch everybody now.
Yeah.
But I'd say those 3 or 4. What is it?
I say it's hard to do. It's hard to keep up with all of them. I mean, there really are so many and so many good ones, and you want to show your support. But it's tough. I try to spread myself out and get everybody, and it gets tough.
It does. That's for sure. I probably need to start watching like half of people's live feeds and stuff, and just a video here or there. But I get so into it, I just stay zoned in, and then I find myself I always post my videos on Sunday, so I always find myself Saturday night, 1 o'clock in the morning, falling asleep while it's uploading, waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and all kind of stuff like that. But I mean, I like doing it, or I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean?
Right. Welcome, Skip Stewart. He looks like he was running behind because of a birthday party. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Another great guy I met through YouTube. So let's try that then. Since how we couldn't get a straight answer. If you could pick who would be your top 3 YouTubers to go fishing with?
Oh boy, now the pressure's on. Well, my number 1 would be everybody in chat right now.
Oh man! Hey, right here, you got something right here. You gotta get
that. Yeah. No, okay, let's get serious. Man,
I didn't even see you wearing boots.
Nope, I'm wearing my Crocs right now. So top 3 that I want to go fishing with, right?
Yeah. Okay. You don't have to. It's just kind of fun. If you.
Oh no! I'll answer it.
There you go.
I'm probably going to say Chris Souders, just because he's local. He's another Ohio boy. And then I'd probably have to say Dieter. I mean, I watched too many of his videos. He taught me too much not to go fishing with him.
That's right.
Then my third one, I don't even know.
That's a lot of pressure.
I guess I'm gonna say Steve. Yeah, he's too popular. He's caught a bunch of good fish. I'll kind of keep it local with some of them.
Yeah. Yeah, those are all. I mean, those are all good. There's so many good anglers and so many different techniques and styles across the board. You know, you could learn something from every single person. Uh, as I do, you know, I fish with several people that are in chat now, and I look forward to fishing with several more that are in chat now, and more to come. And you know, we all learn and share things with each other. And you know, the videos that are put out to help share and educate and just give an alternative to maybe something you're already doing. Uh, Man, it just turns out to be a good time. I have a lot of fun seeing,
Yeah,
you know, different techniques and things, and I've learned a lot.
absolutely. Yeah, I know we've talked about getting out and doing a little fishing.
Oh,
Brandon and Betty, you know,
we're doing it.
yeah.
I'll track you down.
I was gonna. What is it?
I said I'll track you down. I don't care. I'm not shy.
Right? Yeah.
That
No, I
sounds
think it'd be
creepy,
fun.
doesn't it?
Nah, that's all right. If it was outside this little catfish community, it might be a little creepy, but I think
Okay,
we're all on the same page. We know what's going on.
that's right.
But no, I had plans back when I didn't expect all this technical difficulty. I thought I had a little more time.
Yeah,
I was gonna kind of see what my weekend plans were, see what your weekend plans were, see if we get something together this weekend. Because I've noticed what I'll do is I'll make plans, you know, in a broad spectrum of, oh yeah, we'll go sometime soon, and sometime
yeah,
soon never happens. If I don't set
yeah,
a date, it doesn't happen. But
yeah.
yeah, we'll definitely get out soon. And like I said, I want to get a Rocky, and I think you said that's kind of your home waters, isn't it? I know you don't fish it very often, but isn't that
No,
kind of close to where
I
you?
fished Rocky quite a bit. I just, with the boat being down, I ain't fished anything but much since April. I
Right.
mean, I'm dying over here.
Right. What's the verdict on that? I know on was it your show last week? You said that tomorrow you're supposed to get a verdict.
I dropped the boat off to the shop this last Friday, so they've had it what 4 or 5 days, but they weren't open on the weekend. So
Right.
I called
Right.
them yesterday to see if they started on it yet. They hadn't started on it. I mean, they are pretty backed up. I'm trying to be patient, but I'll probably call them again tomorrow.
Where'd you drop it off at, if you don't mind me asking?
Or Hoods over by Deer Creek.
Okay. I was gonna say I've got a buddy that dropped his boat off at Buckeye.
I was trying to
It's been
get
a couple.
into Buckeye, but he told me he was too far booked, not taking anybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say be glad you didn't, because he's had his boat, I want to say, for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So I mean,
I've got a guy
nothing
local.
against him.
I've got a guy local down here, Charlie's Marine. I've heard good stuff about him down on 207, and he's supposed to do really good work. And I've talked to him. He's talked me through a couple things on the phone without charging me or asking me to come in or anything.
Yeah, yeah,
What's going on?
yeah. I
I'm
found a
getting
guy.
hit.
He's not really local to me. I think he's like an hour and a half away. But he did the
Right.
same thing. I found him because my boat's a Stratus, and I found him in a Stratus page on Facebook, and he talked me through a bunch of stuff. He's really knowledgeable as far as this color wire, touch it here, check voltage here, stuff like that. And he fixed a
Right.
bunch of my problems like that. And then I'm getting ready to plan a trip. It's for crappie, not catfish. But here, let's see, what's today? Here in about a month, I'm going to Mississippi doing a little crappie fishing.
Oh yeah,
So
we're out on
I took
Mississippi.
Grenada. Well, Grenada, Enid, or what's the other one?
Sardis.
Yeah, yep, one of
Sorry.
those three. Yep.
We Rick, the guy that was in here earlier, and then Herb, the guy I told you about in the car accident. All three of us take typically a crappie fishing trip out of state every year, and I think it was last year was our trip. We was going to go to Grenada, but we had some friends that were down there saying that it was pretty muddy and pretty rough at the time. They suggested we fish Sardis Lake, and we went and fished Sardis Lake. Man, it was awesome. Uh, you're
Really?
not going to catch. You might not catch as big as you will Grenada. You still have the chance to catch as big, but you're going to catch a lot of fish, and you still might catch that 3 or 4 pounder. So we caught some giant fish. Of course, I think there everything has to be 10 or 12 inches to keep it. So it's a good fishery.
You're froze on me. I don't know if it's my connection.
Uh-oh. I don't know. Am I good now? I think I'm good. I don't know what happened. We got girl power popping up over here. I don't know what
There,
Kevin's
I hear
talking
you again.
about. Kevin's over here singing to somebody. That's all right. Oh, and we lost him. We was doing pretty good there for a while. So, but let's see what else we got here real quick. Maybe I'll catch up on chat. Catch up on chat a little bit. Doc, I'll do that, buddy. I'll give you a call this week, and I'm to call you anyway just to check to see how you been. But looks like Derek might have got it. Got him back. Add the string. You back, buddy?
We were doing so good there for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I don't know what happened.
Yep, I was feeling the same way.
I guess that's the probably the one downfall to living out in the middle of nowhere is no signal.
And it's funny, I live right off 35. Like I can see the semis on 35, but right here right outside of Frankfurt, and I've got houses all around me, businesses, and no internet service. My internet here runs off of an AT&T hotspot that we have to run our computers and TV and everything off of. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Right. Yeah, I was trying to get Spectrum when we moved in here, and they just laughed at me. They're like, no, nowhere even close to you.
Yeah.
So
I've got it on both sides of me. They come up one part of the road so far and the other side of the road so far, but they won't come here. I don't know. But hey, JP3, yeah, get a hold of me, man. I could use some lead, and I appreciate that. We're due to go try to catch some fish. So
pick up his four-wheeler.
Yep. Yeah, just get a hold of me. I believe you still got my number. If not, just hit me on Messenger or something, and we'll get something planned out. Yeah, Terry says Spectrum has crazy good service. I know I've heard so much good stuff about Spectrum, it makes me jealous. I can't get it.
You and me both, buddy. I don't know why this hotspot isn't working though. Like I literally just set her phone on top of my phone, and I mean it's working right now, but who knows how long it's going to last?
Yeah, well, we'll have to play around with it a little bit better next time. Make sure we get you in there and you're good to go.
Yeah. Well, what I don't understand, I mean, I know it takes a little bit more to actually pull a live feed versus watching one, but I can watch you guys with no problem. It doesn't buffer, it doesn't skip. It's pretty spot on. So I thought if I knew this was going to happen, I would have been a little bit more, ready, and I'd have drove to town or something, which was what I was getting ready to do. And then I kind of commandeered her phone, and it started working. So I was like, well, we'll just do this and piss her off real quick.
I don't know what happened there. Kevin said he's still trying to unsee that. I missed something in chat there. Missouri Homesteading says that he feels your pain. They don't have cell signal at all where they're at.
Wow.
That's kind of the way it is. I went over to fish with Brandon across the other day, and I had service until I pulled in his driveway. It was the craziest thing. I pulled in his driveway, and it's like a force field. What is going on? Would you not?
Looks like you're going hunting.
Yeah. Before I had all my surgeries and stuff on my head, and I'll leave that joke open. But I used to do a lot of deer hunting. I could probably show around the room right here all the deer I have mounted. But I used to do quite a bit of deer hunting, a lot more than I ever did fishing. And since I'm not able to really get in a tree stand now. It's kind of killed my desire to hunt. Hunting from ground blinds is okay. It's just when I do it, I think if it was by choice, I wanted to hunt out of a ground blind, it wouldn't be so bad. But because I don't really have a choice, I can't really get in a tree. It just makes it suck even worse. I just end up not enjoying myself sitting in the woods in a ground blind, and so I just found myself fishing even more. And it was a good thing because this last winter was my first winter fishing, and it's my favorite.
Really?
It comes.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that a little bit last week or whatever. And, I don't really fish in the winter either because I kind of hunt a little bit myself. But deer hunting's never been my thing. I've coyote hunted a little bit. I enjoy that. I pheasant hunt. I like that. But as far as deer hunting, sitting in a tree in the cold, no, that's not me. So I think this year I'm going to do a little bit more fishing myself.
Yeah, I used to think that being out fishing in the cold would be a lot colder than what I was used to, and I thought if I could sit in a tree stand, but reality, you're a lot less cold than what you are sitting in a tree stand because you're trying to hold completely still. Very very little movement, if any at all. But on the boat, Roger Tron is trying to possess me. Oh boy. I guess that means my audio is going to crap.
Well, it's about time you start having some problems. It's not just me.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, just happen to bundle up to go fishing, and you actually get to move around. Working baits, moving around, and doing things on a boat. Except for the boat ride itself, I really didn't get nearly as cold as I thought I would by deer hunting.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, I can't sit still that long. I'm on the move, ready to go all the time. I can't sit up in a tree and not move. Right. I don't know. It's just I like it. I just not near as much as I like fishing. Fishing's my thing. So.
Chucky says I'm too loud to deer hunt, and I believe that wholeheartedly.
Absolutely.
I don't think he could sit still. It'd be
especially with all that bounce juice.
Oh yeah. He starts bouncing around in that tree stand, or I don't think he'd even want to get in a tree stand. He'd stay on the ground, and I still don't think he'd be able to handle it.
No, absolutely not. You have to put him in one of those hunts you see on TV, get him about 2 miles away with a $6,000 scope on a $10,000 gun.
Yeah. Yeah, Skip said he didn't even winterize his boat last year. We just changed the oil and kept on fishing. It never went down.
Yeah, that's my thing is finding somebody to fish with me in the winter. But I've got a few people lined up this year. So.
Yeah, you shouldn't have a hard time now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because Shelby's big thing. I forget where I even said this at, but I know it might have been on Betty's live feed one time or something. Shelby's not a big fan of me fishing by myself, which I understand. Right. I know a lot of people do it with no issues, but it's just too easy for something to go bad, especially in the winter. You fall in that water, and it doesn't take long. You're gone. So yeah, I've got a few people lined up that said they'll fish all winter. So I might not even hunt this year. To be honest with you, we might just fish clear around.
I still get pretty excited. I know he's gone, I believe, but Rick Wilson was with me today, and he kind of showed me some trail camera pictures that he had. And it got my blood pumping. I seen some monster bucks on his trail camera, and he invited me along to hunt if I ever want to. And
there you
go. Normally this time of year, man, I've got trail cameras been rolling for months, and food plots popping out, cranking out food, and I've got nothing. I've got no cameras, no food plots, no nothing, no plans. But
here's what kind of ruined. I don't want to say ruined deer hunting, but here's what always aggravated me. I was never really big into food plots, but corn, every mineral lick you can think of, like you said, cameras, running back there checking them all the time. Just doing everything that I thought was right. All that money and time, you pull a card and you're seeing nice deer on there, and every time it's 10 o'clock at night, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And you go sit in the stand, you're like, he's got to pass through sometime. And you see the same 4 does every single time you hunt.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I know, the rack isn't everything, but right now I got nothing on my wall. So I'd like to get something, but it just got so disheartening. I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I'll hunt a little bit, and that's about it. And honestly, I think that did good because I stayed out of the woods a lot for like 2 years, hunted a little bit here and there. And just this last year, a tree that was next to like the one my tree stand was on fell and scraped down the side of the tree and wiped my tree stand off. So I got another tree stand hung, and I rushed it like I do everything.
You gotta watch them widow makers. We call them whenever you're hanging your tree stand.
Yeah,
guys are wanting to know where you live,
I wasn't in
bud.
it. What is it?
Folks are asking where you live, what city you're around.
Oh yeah, I just clicked on the comments. Betty filled in for me, but yeah, I live. I live in Clinton County. I'd say most of you Southern Ohioans will know where that's at.
Yeah. I say I like this one here because it says, I like deer hunting. I get giddy as a schoolgirl when spring turkey season comes around. And I'm right there with you. I love hunting deer, but just because of my condition and stuff right now, I can still turkey hunt pretty successfully. And I love spring gobblers. It's fun. I have a hard time. I'll be honest with you. I hunt a lot of state ground, and I'll take my fishing poles with me, and I'll do the hunt in the morning, and till either decide I'm done for the day or just decide to hop in the boat, and then I'll fish. And if I hear a turkey, I'll get out and go get him. I'll go after him.
Right. Yeah. See, I never thought about doing it like that because my thing, Clinton County doesn't have a fall turkey, so the only time I'd have a chance is in the spring, and I can't give up spring fishing. Spring fishing is some of my favorite. So
yeah.
Now that comment I can agree with.
What's that, deer meat?
Yes, that's what makes it all worth it right there.
Yeah, I think I ruined Janice on deer meat. When we first got together, I used to really lay the smackdown on some deer, and we was having deer for almost every meal that would require beef or sausage got deer instead. And I think I burned her out too fast. It's hard to get her to eat any deer meat now, so I really have to back off the deer hunting, which turns out to be why I'm not hunting as much as well. I can kill maybe a doe a year, and then I'll trophy hunt after that. But outside of one deer, that's about all she can handle.
Well, I don't know about where you're at, but we're a 1 deer county this year. So,
I haven't even looked. That's how unprepared I am.
The only reason I know is because I was scrolling through the old faithful Facebook, and the regulations came up, and I was like, well, let's see here. 1 deer, that's one more than I'm going to shoot anyway.
Yeah. Kevin says, thankfully, he has teachers and staff that always bring deer meat to him. That's good. The only problem I have with that is everyone says, hey, can you bring me some deer jerky? Man, do you have any idea how long it takes to make deer jerky?
Right.
You do all that work?
I got a guy that I work with. He makes a bunch of smoked summer sausage and brings it into work.
Yeah.
And used to, everybody would eat it, and it'd be gone by the end of the day. Well, a bunch of those people quit, retired, whatever. So now there's only about 3 of us. And by the end of the day, usually I'm getting a big old tub of it to take home. I'm like,
yeah,
hell yeah.
Heck yeah. Yeah. It seems like a lot of guys are able to smack down, baby! That's for Brandon. Sorry. Because it's Tuesday night and he can't he don't get to watch SmackDown. He's really missing Stacey Gaston, and I just feel like I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So there you go, Brandon.
Right. Yeah. See, I know who you're talking about. I've seen some of his videos. That one that he had probably 2 weeks ago with, I think his name was Braden or Brandon. That was awesome. That was
yeah,
really cool. I don't
yeah,
know if you saw that or not.
yeah.
How
Oh
you caught
yeah,
that like
yeah,
53 pounder, something like that.
yeah.
That
Those
was
guys
awesome.
taking Braden out. Yeah, him and Joey. Man,
Yep.
that's awesome. That
Yep. Yeah.
really,
See,
I don't know.
no, go ahead.
No, I just saw. It looks like Paula Smith's checking out for the night. And I just want to tell her thank you for being here, guys. If you guys haven't checked out Paula Smith catfishing, uh, if somebody is able to put her link up here, I'd appreciate it. I haven't seen very many links actually. You guys are so hot into the chat. I don't think there's any. I guess I've seen some links earlier. I'll take that back. But if somebody could get Paula's link up there for me, I'd appreciate it. And then she'll be on next week, uh, and that ought to be a fun show. That she's a hoot, and she catches the fish. What was you saying, pal? I cut you off. I apologize.
Oh, I can't even remember. I was trying to
We
catch
was,
up on
we
some
was
chat.
talking
Oh,
about
I think
Stacy Gaston and them taking Braden out.
that's right. Yeah. So for whatever reason, he quit doing his live stream. From what I'm understanding, he did his on Tuesdays. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I came around and kind of joined the family, if you will, after he was already
Right.
gone. So I know who he is, but I
Okay.
never got to see any of his shows.
Thank you, Stan.
So
From what I understand, those guys were just on a break. I know that they had some vacation time and stuff planned, and that's with Braden fishing. I believe that was part of the plan. They were going to be down in on Wheeler Lake for a while. I believe anyway. The plan was for them to come back to Tuesday nights, and when that happens, I'll probably still continue Tuesday nights, but I'll move back to 7 o'clock. Uh, okay. I'll probably move back to 7 o'clock and keep it cut at an hour show. But we'll play it by ear and see what happens. Eventually, I get the boat back together. I plan on doing these Tuesday night shows on the water.
well, see that was my thing. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was done.
Okay. That was my original plan, was to be on the water, but I tried to go live. I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, and it was kind of like this, but better. I thought it would be better here, so it turns out I probably should have been on the water, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it wasn't a whole lot better here.
No, it was not. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was worse, to be honest.
Kevin,
So,
you're crazy.
I don't know.
I ain't taking Sunday night, man. That's your night. That's you got a good thing going. Yeah, see? Well, you got everybody stirred up now. I'm going to let you deal with them.
I think honestly, maybe I'm wrong. I was gonna say Kevin might be the first live stream I saw, but now that I think about it, it might have been Lyle on Monday night.
Yeah.
But somehow I was scrolling through Facebook. No, go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw one of these live feeds, and I clicked on it and I watched it. Like I said, it was either Sunday or Monday, and I watched it. And after it, they were talking about Chunky Cat's going to be live, and I'm like, well, who's this guy? So I clicked on it, and then it just exploded. I started meeting all you guys, and I mean, really, like, it's going to sound cheesy, but it kind of changed my life. Like, if you'd asked me a month ago what I was going to be doing tonight, it wasn't sitting on my boat in the driveway talking to you guys. You know what I mean?
It does. It does. I mean, I don't know, for the most of us, a lot of everyone in here is just, the normal crowd. Like, there's a good core 30 to 40 people that,
right.
You can count on every night at 8 o'clock. We're going to be on somewhere, and talking about catfishing or any other shenanigan that decides to pop up. But
yeah.
If you talked to me a while back and asked me, if I'd be sitting in my living room talking to people live on Facebook or YouTube, I wouldn't. No, that's not going to happen. But here I am.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I've never met, physically anybody off here yet, but just talking to you guys, messing around on Facebook and here in the chat. I mean, I've met some awesome people through it. So I have no complaints.
Absolutely. I think I've said it every time I've been on here, but I've made lifelong friends just through YouTube right here. Talking to guys in chat, whether I met them in another chat room or whatnot. I've got guys on here that I consider lifelong friends now, and that's pretty cool because you think about. I tell this to my daughter who's 14 and thinks she knows it all, but I tell her, you go through school, and you think that all these girls or guys that are friends with you now are going to be there for the rest of your life, and they're really not. You're going to end up with a handful of
No.
folks at best that are really there for you till the end, and everyone else you're going to meet along the way, and this is part of that process of meeting folks along the way.
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that because where I live now and where I grew up when I went to high school and everything, as the crow flies, is probably 2 miles. If you're driving on the road, it might be 5. And I can't tell you the last time I saw somebody I went to school with. You know what I mean? So that goes hand in hand with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like you said, you think they're going to be your friends for the rest of your life, and
right.
Graduation day comes, and I'd say 90% of them you never see again. And then you make new friends along the way, and I mean, it's life, things change.
Yeah. From around here, it's, I run into folks from school and things like that. I never moved far from my hometown. I'm only 15 minutes from my hometown. So it's common for me to run into people, but, like I said, being those friends you count on for anything, those turned out to be just a handful.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, and going back to you talking about your daughter, if you'd asked me when I was in high school, how many people are you going to be friends with in 10 years? I would say, probably all of them. No.
Right.
0.
Yep.
But.
Yeah. Now, social media does allow them to have, hey, Pop's in the house. What's up, buddy? Social media does allow them to stay in contact much longer than than what we were ever used to growing up. But then again, the people that are there.
That's the thing with me. As far as my social media goes, it's catfish, and then you scroll down and there's some more catfish, and then there's another guy that catfishes, and so I don't even see him on there half the time. Shelby, because me and Shelby, we kind of went to school the same area. And she's like, you see what so-and-so posted? And I'm like, no, I didn't. She's like, well, that's probably because your Facebook's full of catfish. Yeah, pretty much.
That is exactly right. I started the Muskrat Adventures page thinking that, I would see more stuff over there, and because it happens all the time. People say, hey, did you see I post this or that? I'm like, no, I didn't see it.
Right.
And, I was like, I need to move my fish. I need to separate my fishing and my personal stuff, but it just ain't happening.
Yeah, I think that might be something I do here soon, and I hate to do it, but I have so many people on my Facebook right now that I have no idea who they are. Never talked to them. It's one of those things. Probably my guess. They saw a catfish in my profile picture, hit add friend. I saw a catfish in theirs, hit accept, and I hate to do it because it seems mean, and I'm not like that. I'm really not. But I think I'm going to need to go through and start weeding some people out that I don't know. You know what I mean? It's kind of been on my mind here lately, just because usually I scroll kind of past what they post anyway, if it's not about catfishing. So I think I need to I need to clean my Facebook up a little bit. Now I know we're friends on Facebook. We haven't met, but I know who you are. That's different. Stuff like that.
Right.
But one of those things where they hit add, I hit accept, never talked. I don't know who you are, where you're from, what you're about. So I'm probably going to go through that a little
bit. I've got friends and stuff from school. They'd add me on Facebook, and then I pass them in the Walmart down here, and they never raised a hand or looked at you, nothing. You're like, you just want to creep on my page, and I go home and delete them. I'm like, I said hi to you. You just kept on walking, or I waved at you, and you act like I wasn't there.
Right.
It's not a number game to me. I don't care how many friends I have or how many, right now I really, subscribers, I don't even look at, I don't pay attention to. I really don't deserve it right now. I'll be honest with you. I ain't been putting out any content all my stuff's kind of outdated and old, and I've been working on some other stuff, and the boat's I guess I've just been pouting over here because my boat's down.
All right, well, we're
Roger
gonna
was
fix that.
bullied as a child. I was bullied as a child, to be honest with you.
I think we all were a little bit, some more than others,
Yeah.
maybe. But no, we're gonna fix that as soon as this is over. We're gonna chat on Facebook a little bit. We're gonna get you out in the boat and either
Oh yeah.
go live or get you shooting some video or something. Get you some content back up on your page.
Yeah, I got a little bit of content put together. It depends on who you fish with. You got to edit it, some more than others. I had a recent fishing trip, and I'll let them tell them themselves if they want to. But by the time I tried to edit it, I ended up with a picture slideshow, and so it wasn't much of a video.
Yeah. No.
But Brandon and his son Caleb and I went out, and we went out Saturday, and Caleb was able to catch his first blue cat, and I got that on film, and he caught his first gar, and we got that on film. We caught a couple other fish, but for me, when somebody catches a first or a PB, that video is number one priority to me. And they do tend to be a long video. If you look at my older videos, whenever somebody catches a PB, I try to keep all that memory there for them. They can go back and look at it for however long YouTube decides to be YouTube.
Exactly.
And that's something they can share and cherish forever. So those PB videos or whatever they do tend to be a little longer. But I'm not going to change that. I like that they can. It's for them,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like with Mom's video when she caught her 15-pound channel cat personal best there. I don't know, 2.5, 3 weeks ago. I tried to keep a lot of that, but she was excited. I was excited. A little bit got clipped out here and there, but for the most part, most of it was in there. And
yeah.
But what it didn't capture, and I don't know how you'd be able to without putting a 24-hour video on, was just she talked about it all night. You know what I mean? So
right.
That was really cool. But yeah, it kind of goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of the live stream. I almost rather see somebody catch their fish, their personal best, or just a big fish in general, than I would catching it myself. You know what I mean? I mean, not that I don't like catching fish. I absolutely love it. But I've caught so many fish that when I get somebody out there, especially that's new and hasn't caught a lot, just watching them, man, it's hard to beat. It really is.
100%, man.
Yeah.
At a certain point, though, I want to catch a good fish. I haven't caught a good fish in, too long, man.
Right.
It ain't that I ain't been fishing. I've had guys taking me fishing, and I watch them catch fish most of the time. And I've been on a dry spell, man, of catching good ones. Oh yeah, Brandon, that'll turn out good. We had barge race 2020 on the Ohio River, and I'll leave it at that. It's coming.
All right, I can't wait.
Battle of the barges.
Yeah. I lost it that fast. You were talking about. Oh, okay. So talking about wanting to catch a good one yourself, I agree 100%. Whenever I have somebody else on the boat, they always get the first rod. Because what I do, and a lot of people that are on my personal Facebook that know me personally, they're always like, right. Oh, you let everybody else catch these big fish and you don't catch anything, which I know, Chad and Dockery and all them, they give it to me just as bad. But,
right.
The way I do it, I take turns. And if I got 2 people, we go back and forth. If there's 3, we go 1, 2, 3, back to 1. And whoever's a guest on my boat gets the first rod, because obviously it's my boat. So I'm out more than they are. And even if they go with me most of the time. So whoever's out fishing with me, they get the first rod and I'll take the second one. And we just kind of go back and forth. And wherever the big fish hits, that's where it hits.
Yeah, that's what Creole Catfishing there says. He says that that's why everybody has a bigger, and his family has a bigger PB than him. He's always letting somebody else grab the rod. I do that to a certain extent. I like to let Janice or whoever else is in the boat grab a rod. But if they ain't paying attention, I'll knock them down. It's
No,
game
see,
on.
I'm sure you're kidding to some extent, but I've even, I mean, I troll with circle hooks, so setting the hook really isn't a priority. But I'll kind of grab the rod, reel down, put some pressure on, and then hand it off. But going to what Creole said, my personal best is bigger than everybody that fishes with me, but it's just out of luck. Like I said, we were going back and forth that day. I forgot my camera, and I hooked that one. It was around 20. And then my buddy grabbed one. I mean, within seconds, I thought the lines were crossed, and his was 15. But it's just the way that it fell. And then, so Shelby's personal best honestly should be about 3 pounds bigger than what it is. And we were out fishing on my birthday, and that's when I caught my my confirmed personal best, the 18.5-pound channel cat.
Right.
And I mean, it was just Dink City. I caught probably 5 or 6 little fish in a row, and her and my sister were up in the front of the boat talking, and they're watching the rod just barely bounce. And they knew it wasn't nothing big, so they're like, "Yeah, go ahead." And you can kind of see it in the video. It's the longest video I have on there. I think it's like 20 minutes long.
Right.
I'm sure nobody watched it to the point where this happened, and I don't blame them, because I had it on my chest mount, and it was kind of shaky. But then I have my camera by the console that captured, everything else. Well, basically what happened, 2 rods got tangled. One that had a fish on it and one that was still in the water. And I was untangling the rods, and all of a sudden I just kind of felt it pulling. And I was like, oh, here we go. So I'm cutting the line that was tangled with it, and I get it out of the line, and I grab the rod, then it's in the motor. So I finally get it out of there, and somehow the fish was still on. And it was Shelby's turn. So I said, here, you want this fish? She's like, well, is it big? And I was like, I don't know. I said, it's not fighting very hard. It doesn't seem very big. Well, he must have been charging the boat. And as soon as he got to the boat, he went straight down. And I fought him for probably 2 or 3 minutes after that. And it ended up being 18.5 pounds. So technically that fish should have been hers. But since it was my birthday and we thought it wasn't very big, she let me have it. So I kind of feel bad about that one. But
so I don't know if Skip Stewart and Zach Murray is still in here, but they had they had a little instance sort of like that this last week, where Zach had a rod go down the front of the boat and was fighting a fish up front, and one of Zach's rods go down in the back of the boat, and Skip reels down on it just to get the fish hooked and hangs on to the rod for waiting on Skip or Zach. Skip, you care if I tell this story? Hey, Skip's still here.
While you're waiting on him to answer, was that when they were at Sandusky Bay, or is that somewhere else?
No, this was down on the Ohio River just a few days ago.
Okay.
But we was talking about how fish end up.
You said go for it.
So this finish the story there. So Skip reels down on the rod, hangs on to it for Zach. Zach ends up losing his fish on his way to the back of the boat to get the rod. His middle rod goes down, so he decides to get it, and he tells Skip to go ahead and reel that one in. He's already got it, and wasn't fighting much. And it ends up being a 65-pound blue cat, Skip's new PB, and it was on Zach's rod, and that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like when I fish. I told you there earlier, I only fish 4 rods. So whenever somebody wants to go with me, I'm like, man, don't bring nothing but you and your fishing license, some snacks if you want them. I've got everything. So I just throw my 4 rods out the back, and like I said, we take turns. But everybody has their own style. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my boat, we send them all.
Right. Well, see,
we might have 12,
the reason I asked
12 rods out the back.
The reason I asked if that was the Sandusky Bay story you were talking about, I've been there once, and I put a video up of that, and I'm going again next week. So when I go up there, they're not on the boat anymore, but I've got a spider rig set up for crappie. And when I go up there, you're anchored. Well, at least I anchor up. Bugs found me. When I go up there, I anchor. So I'll throw 4 rods out the back, and then depending on who I have with me, I'll throw a couple out the front, and we'll fish kind of that way. But yeah, but that's a hell of a fishery up there.
Yep, it's on my list of well, it should have been done by now. My boat was ready. But well, I'll get up there.
You
I'm not
never been
sure.
up there?
I've never been there.
Okay,
I'm not sure when the good or the bad or the better may be for up there. I'm just going to assume, like anywhere else, the spawn was about the only time that channel cats aren't going to be on fire up there. But it sounds like every other time up there, they're on the move.
I'll tell you what, man. We went up there July 18th, I think.
Yeah.
Caught 33 fish. Now, everybody says that's a bad day, but not to me. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, to me, that's a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll talk after this, and right now it's me and a buddy going up there. My sister and Shelby are undecided. So if they go, we'll be at max capacity. But if they don't go and you're free, you're more than welcome to tag along, man.
Well, I appreciate it. I have to talk with the boss lady and find out what our plans are. Right now, it looks like we're going fishing in the morning. I didn't realize it was 9:30 already.
Yeah.
Roger, what fishing license is needed for Racine on the Ohio River? JP3, just to fish with the Ohio rules and regulations, you just need an Ohio fishing license. And for Ohio, that will allow you up to 3 rods. And each of those rods are legal for 3 hooks each, depending on how you rig them up. So I always buy the neighboring states. So for me, I'll have a Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia license, so that no matter where I go or what I do, because we've had this talk before, it never seems to be able to. I can never seem to get a definitive answer on either how far you can go, how many rods you can use, what license you have to have, and for 30 bucks, 40 bucks or whatever, I can buy a license and know that I'm good. I don't have to stress, worry, wonder. I can just go fish, use, how many rods I want. And JP3, if you got a West Virginia license, you're good on the Ohio River. And you're also, with the West Virginia license, you can use unlimited rods. So you're good to go, man.
Yeah, that's something I always wondered too, as far as how the licensing goes down there, which I fish it once a year from the bank. Don't really do that good. I only fish for an hour or two. Shelby's family reunions down there. So
I got you.
I haven't put too much thought into it. I mean, honestly, don't get me wrong. I want to fish the river. And like you were talking about, I've got 2 rivers on my list this year. And I've got 4 lakes on my list that I want to hit this year. And my boat's up and running. I'm fishing, and it's not working out for me. So
yeah, I got you.
We'll see what ends up happening. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, anytime you're ready. Hopefully my boat's ready. My boat is, I designed it and lined it out, and the blueprint I put in it was just for fishing the river. I mean, obviously it's good for any other fishing I decide to do as well. But it was designed for river catfishing. That's what I enjoy the most.
Yeah. Well, when I bought my boat, I mean, I got a deal that I couldn't pass up on, in my opinion. And the friend of mine that kind of taught me about dragging baits for catfish, he fishes out of a bass boat, and I like the way his was set up. I fished out of his a couple times. I said I looked for, because I call it my bathtub. I had a 18-foot Starcraft. It was nothing but floor space. It had the console off to the side, but no storage, nothing like that. So as far as loading it and unloading it, you're talking a half hour easy, because you got to get everything out of there. It's going to get soaking wet or stolen or something. Yeah. So I had a 35 horse Mercury on the back of it, and what it wanted to do, it was notorious. It'd get you all the way out in the middle of the lake, and then not start on you, and you'd be trolling back.
Oh,
So I ended up selling it, and well, what it was, and what kind of helped me out, I kept it while I was looking, so that way I didn't
right,
have to go jump on a deal. You know,
right,
I kept fishing out of it, and I just wouldn't go too far from the ramp. And this boat came around, and you know, it needed nothing. It was ready to go on the water. It's got a 130 Johnson on it, and knock on wood, I've had a few problems out of it, but I think we're getting them worked out. It's pretty reliable. Not that something can't happen, you know. I mean, you can take a brand new
right.
boat out and something happen, but it's been a lot better. So I went ahead and sold my other one, and I've been fishing out of this thing. But um, I think the way I've got it set up now, the only problem I have is my live well. You know, it's a bass boat, so the live well are set up for bluegill pretty much, and
Right.
it kind of keeps me from fishing a lot of tournaments, which I'm super competitive. So you know, the tournament atmosphere is something I like, and I fish some channel cat tournaments around here. You know, on Rocky Fork I fish quite a few, but
Right.
the ones I fished around there, a lot of them, I don't know if you know of any that I don't, but the one I used to fish the most, he doesn't do it anymore. He had some health issues. The director did, and he quit
Yeah.
putting them on. Now I know Vince
Right.
puts one on beginning of the year, and I was all excited for it this year, and COVID shut it down. So
Yeah.
I've been
There's a few others. There's a few others out there. I can put you in the right direction. I've got asked or invited to try to join some of those. Obviously with boat issues, couldn't do that. But there's some other ones out there that are doing really well.
as far as Rocky goes, or you just mean around here?
No, around here,
Right.
Hoover.
Well,
Some
see,
of the smaller rivers, Muskingum and things like that.
right. I probably know the ones you're talking about. And Hoover is on my list of a lake I want to fish regardless. But I saw some tournaments they put on up there. But again, I
Hmm.
don't have live well space for them big blues. Well, I say big blues. They're 20, 30 pounds, but to me that's big, and to my live well that's big. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
it's kind of got me dampered as far as what I can do. But I've got a I've got a live well build that I've got in mind, and I think it's
Yeah.
going to be big enough, and I think it's going to work. So I'm getting ready to start working on that here real soon.
Good deal. All right, guys. Well, we are at an hour and a half. Me and the wife looks like we're getting up and going fishing in the morning at Paint Creek. So we're going to wrap it up for this evening. I appreciate you guys all being here. If anybody's got a last minute question for Derek, can throw it in here real quick. Otherwise, next week we'll have Paula Smith. Paula's been on Dynamite last couple of years. She's been catching fish for a long time. She kind of got the spotlight there for a while when she caught that 88 pounder, which is a fantastic, great. That's a huge fish. Great to have as a PB, but Paula catches way more fish than that 88 pounder. I know she kind of became famous over the 88, but man, that girl's got skill way beyond that. So hopefully you guys can all make it back in next week. Check out Paula Smith and see have some questions lined up for her about her tricks and tips, and help any of you along that she can. She's an awesome person. Tell Janice to message me and Dockery. No, Chad. Why the heck would I do that?
I will do that.
Not having it. Derek, I really appreciate you taking the time, man. I know you had some struggles with the connection and stuff, so I appreciate your patience and toughing it out to be in here with me. I appreciate you sharing your time with us. And
Yeah, I mean,
you got anything else? You got anything else for everybody?
I was going to say thank you to everybody else. I mean, I know that I was struggling with the connection issues, but you guys were the ones that suffered from it. As far, I'm not a technology guru, but as far as I can tell, I can't see how many people are in here or were in here. But just kind of looking
Right.
at the chat a little bit when I can, it seems like there's
Right.
people in here the whole time. So for you guys to stick it out through that, all the connection issues, I mean, that says a lot, really. You guys are awesome. Not that we didn't know that before, but it definitely showed through.
We was up over 40 there for a while, so and we're still holding at 36 now. I really hate to wrap a show up when we got this good participation,
Right.
but I gotta get things together and get some sleep. Janice has got to get some sleep, and maybe we'll have another video put together for you after tomorrow's event. So
yeah, well,
until next time, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it just tells me we got to do it again, maybe with a little better connection somewhere.
Hey, 100%.
Or maybe
that goes for anybody else. Anybody else that's out there in chat. Don't be afraid to. If you're interested in coming on the show and sharing some stuff with you about you, I don't care if you got 5 subscribers. This is a way to help get us all out there and get us, sharing our thoughts and opinions and content and things like that. So if anybody out there does want to come on the show for a night, hit me up. We'll set it up, get it together. Otherwise, I'll keep hunting around. It's hard to find somebody that's not already, already been on several shows, which is good. That's good that there's that much going on that we can all get a piece of the pie. So.
Yeah, it's good.
That said,
everybody gets spread around pretty well. I mean, everybody's supporting each other, and it's cool to see. Like you said, there's a good 30 to 40 of us that kind of stick together. And if I had to guess, it's probably the 36 that are in here right now. Everybody kind of supports each other. So I see Betty's comment up there, probably from 10 minutes ago now. But yeah, we'll set a date and we'll head down to the river for sure.
Sounds good.
So.
All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week. Hopefully 8 o'clock. I'll double check with SmackDown and make sure that they're not planning on coming back, because it is the 1st of September next Saturday or next Tuesday. So I'll double check. As far as I know right now, it'll be 8 o'clock. If anything's other than that, I'll get it posted up for you. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having me, buddy.